All right, we'll get started today in a child's pose. So you can bring your knees out wide to both sides of your mat. Let your hips come to your heels and then extend your arms long out in front of you. Give yourself a few moments at the start of this class to connect with your mind and your body. Letting your body sink into the mat. Noticing the weight of your forehead on the mat here. The opening of the armpits and the shoulders with your arms extended long. But see if you can try to lengthen the spine here in this child's pose. Maybe walking your hands out just a little bit further. Let yourself be fully present here on your mat and in this moment for the next 45 minutes. Start to deepen the breath here in this moment. Inhaling through the nose. Fill up the lungs completely. And then exhale, keeping the mouth closed. Let the air flow out. Good. Take another deep inhale. Filling up the lungs from top to bottom. Exhale out the nose. Good. One more time. Inhale here. This time, open your mouth. Sigh it out. Good. Bring yourself up to that tabletop position. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. Hips over your knees. Good. Check into your core here. Imagine pulling up and in on the belly button. The lower ribs pull together. So you're engaging your lower abdominals. Long neutral spine here. Going to take a deep inhale in this pose. And exhale. Good. This time, inhale, drop the belly and look up, coming into your cow pose. Exhale, round the back. Tuck your tailbone under. Good. Inhale, drop the belly and look up. Exhale, cat pose, round the back. Take this a few more times. Just gently waking up the spine, finding some movement along each vertebrae. Maybe you add in the head and the neck. Tucking the chin as you arch the back. Then one more inhale, drop the belly and look up. Exhale, round the back. Then come back to center. Place your hands a little bit more underneath you. We're going to take a few bird dogs here. So extend the left toes long, right fingertips reach forward. Good. When you get here, imagine bringing your toes back towards your body and your heel pushes to the back of the room. Good. Exhale, knee to elbow, bring it in towards center. Inhale, reaches you long. Good. Exhale, bring it in towards the center. Inhale, reach it long. Check into that planted hand. See if you can press through to keep that shoulder nice and strong. Good. Exhale, come to center. Inhale, reach it long. You have 3 more. Exhale, come to center. Inhale, squeeze the glute at the top of this one. Good. Try to see if you can keep that glute strength as you extend long. One more on this side. Good. Bring your right hand down and extend the left leg long out to the side. We're going to stretch into those inner thigh muscles. So if you need to just, bring that left foot a little further so that you can get nice and deep into those muscles, feel free to do so. And then we're slowly just going to rock back and forth. Start to find some movement here that feels authentic in your body. Good. Next time you come back up to center, lift that left leg back behind you, and then place the knee onto the mat. We'll take that on the other side. This time, right legs go back, right toes go back. And then left fingertips reach forward. Good. Check in here before we start any movement. Neutral spine to start. And then exhale, bring the knee and elbow in. Good. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, really make that connection here. Bring it in towards center. And then inhale, nice and long. We're going to have 8 total, so we're about halfway there. Good, nice squeeze at the top as you inhale. Two more. Last one, extend it long. Exhale, come in. Good, last time extending. Bring your left hand down to the floor. This time you're gonna reach the right foot over, sending it long out to the side. Good, and then start to rock your hips back to your heels. Good, next time you come up, send those right toes back behind you. And place both knees onto the mat. Good, once you get there. We're gonna tuck the back toes underneath us. And then send our hips high for our first downward facing dog. Good, take some time here to pedal out the feet. Extending the hip and tailbone up towards the ceiling. Good, maybe coming on to your hands, coming into a high plank, snaking through those shoulders. Good, and then firm up your foundation. Spread your fingertips nice and wide. Good, each knuckle presses into the mat. And then long spine here, your hips reach up to the ceiling. Good, your heels are reaching towards the ground. Good, we're gonna take a few ankle taps here. So waking up the core. Your inhale will bring you over to a high plank. And then exhale, right hand to left ankle, cross over. Good, inhale, high plank. Exhale, opposite hand to opposite ankle. Take this a few times at your own pace. Really using your core to kind of control this movement, bringing your hips back up to the ceiling. Good, take 3 more on each side. Keep your breath here. 1 more to each side. After your last one, meet us in downward facing dog. Good, inhale, the right toes are gonna go long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, drop your back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. Good, when you get here, really check into the pelvis. See if you can tilt it back just a little bit. So you really get a nice deep stretch into that left front hip flexor. Good, exhale, plant the hands, framing the top foot, and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Good, reach it long, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back to your high plank pose. Once you get here, exhale, drop the knees, and then slowly lower yourself down, keeping your elbows in at your sides. Good, inhale, press through the hands, reach your chest forward. Good, exhale, tuck the back toes under, hips go high for your downward facing dog. We'll take that on the other side, left toes long, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, drop the back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. Good, exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Good, reach it long. Inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step your toes back, move through your flow. Option to keep the knees lifted and slowly lower yourself down into a half plank. Inhale brings you up to an upward facing dog. Tops of your feet are on the mat. Good, exhale, hips go high. Good, always feel free to modify any movements that I might bring you through. We'll add on a little bit here. Inhale, right toes go long. Exhale, open the hip up to the side, bend the knee. So you're coming into kind of this scorpion pose, scorpion dog pose. Good option to circle out the ankle here, or just feel a nice stretch in the front of the right hip. Good, inhale, three-legged dog, right toes long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Drop the back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. This time, exhale. Sorry, left fingertips forward, right fingertips back. Looking over to the right. Good, inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Good, inhale, reach the arms long. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift to prepare. Exhale, plant the hands, step your toes back. Take whichever version of your chaturanga flow that makes sense to you and feels good and strong. Inhale, brings your chest up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, inhale, left toes go long. And then exhale, open it up for scorpion dog. Good, option 2, take some ankle circles here again. Good, inhale, left toes long, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through. Drop your back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. Exhale, right fingertips forward, twisting over to the left this time. Good, open up through the collarbones. Extend the arms nice and long. Good, swoop that left hand down and then up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Good, reach the arms up long. Inhale at the top. Exhale, forward fold. Good, let's separate the feet about hips width distance. Bring your toes so that they face at about a 45-degree angle out. Your heels will stay in, and then slowly sink your hips down. We're coming into a yogi squat. Good, if you need any sort of support in this pose, option to bring a block to make this a supported yogi squat, or a pillow, or anything that you might have. Good, press your elbows into the insides of your legs. And then press your legs back. Wake up this inner thigh and outer shoulder. Good, place the hands back on the mat. Send the hips up high. Bring your toes to face forward, but keep them at about a hip's width distance. Once you get here, deep bend into the left leg. Left hand comes down directly underneath your nose, so right in the center. And then right fingertips are going to reach up. Good, this should wake up the right outer hip. Once again, if you need to bring that block underneath your left hand to kind of bring your body off the ground just a little bit, it's totally fine. Good, let's take a bind here. So if you, word jumble. So your left fingertips are down on the ground, right fingertips are reaching up. Send those right fingertips over to the left hip. So you're kind of reaching towards that left leg. But you can stay here, or you can thread that left hand underneath and see if you can bring it to that same thigh. So maybe you don't touch, or maybe you want to reach for fingertips. to see if you can make that bind, and then open that right shoulder up to the top. Good, you can always take one portion or the other, find whatever works for your body. Good, place the left hand back on the mat, right fingertips reach up. Exhale, right hand down where your left hand is, and we'll switch out the sides. So deep bend into the right leg, right hand underneath your nose, left fingertips reach up long. Hold this here for just 3 breaths, then we'll take the bind. And I like to kind of send this straight leg hip back in space to really feel that nice deep stretch. Good, start to send those left fingertips over to the outside of the right hip. Then open up that top shoulder. Good option to bring that right hand underneath. Maybe finding a bind or a half bind, whatever makes sense. The idea behind the bind is to kind of give yourself some leverage so that you can open up here, opening up your chest over to the side. Good, bring the right fingertips down to the mat. Left fingertips reach up long first, and then exhale the left fingertips down. Good, take a forward fold, sway from side to side here. Maybe grab opposite hand, opposite elbow. Then when you're ready, bringing the toes to touch at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back, and then move through your flow. Once you get into your downward facing dog, we're going to slowly roll over to our high plank pose. Drop your right knee down to the mat. Bring your right hand directly underneath you. We're finding a modified side plank here. So if you want to kickstand your leg out to the back for a little more support, feel free. Otherwise, you can keep it where it's at. Your left heel reaches down towards the ground, and then left fingertips reach up. Good, maybe you want to bring your left fingertips forward, finding a nice long side body stretch here. Good, let's come back to center, bringing that left hand up towards the ceiling, and then lift your left toes off the mat. See if you can play around with this here. Good, so you're balancing on the right knee, right wrist. You're squeezing these left outer hip muscles so that you can lift that leg up nice and tall. Good, exhale the left hand down to the mat. Both toes come to touch at the top, at the back of your mat. Good, send your hips up high. Inhale, the left toes go long. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Good, inhale, left toes long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. We're coming into kind of this low lunge, so your back leg is going to stay lifted. Good option to bring the left foot outside of the left hand, coming into this like low lizard pose. So your back leg can stay straight, or you can drop it down. You can also play around with maybe coming down onto your forearms, getting into a really deep hip flexor stretch here. We're really opening up into the hips today. Wherever you are, come back onto your palms. Tuck your right toes underneath you, straighten that back leg. And then inhale, the left toes will go long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Inhale, both arms come overhead for your crescent lunge. Good, so your back leg is nice and straight. You're at about a 90-degree angle with your front knee. Reach both hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, airplane the arms back behind you. Lean your chest forward. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, airplane the arms. Inhale, arms overhead. Good, exhale, airplane the arms. And then plant your hands and step both feet forward. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, circle the arms overhead, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through to heart center, coming to your mountain pose. Hands can come down to your sides. Good, we're gonna play around with a dancer's pose today. So, we've been opening up the left hip so far in this sequence. So we'll start by placing all of our weight into the right leg. Good, maybe you lift each of your toes on the right foot up. Really plant them down into the ground, feeling grounded here. Good, and then bring both hands to your hips. Left knee comes up directly in front of you. So you're coming into this single-legged mountain pose. Good, start to swing that left heel back behind you. Your left hand's gonna come free. And then come back and grab either the inside or the outside of the left ankle. Good, you may start to feel some wobbling here in your standing leg. Play around with that, see what you can do to feel strong in that leg. Maybe contracting some of the muscles in the quads. Good, reach your right fingertips up high first. And then as you start to kick into that back hand, we can lean forward. Good, find a spot out in front of you to focus on. See if you can hold this for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Coming out of it just how you got in. Good, left toes come down to the mat. Exhale, cactus your arms out to the side. Take a baby back bend here. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift here. Exhale, plant the hands, step your toes back, and move through your flow. Good, once you get to your downward facing dog, pedal it out a little bit. We'll take that all on the other side. So inhale brings you over to your high plank pose. Drop that left knee down to the floor. Left fingertips come underneath your nose. Good, swivel that right heel down, coming into your modified side plank here. Good, option to bring the right fingertips forward, finding that long line. Good, come back up to center. And then start to lift those right toes off the mat. Good, hold it here for a few breaths, feeling nice and strong in the core and in the hips. It's where you're supporting a lot of your weight in this pose. If you fall out, just come right back in. Good, take one more inhale here. And then drop the right toes down, right fingertips come to touch. Send your left toes back behind you, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Good, right toes will go long for a three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to left elbow, twist it over. Good, inhale, right toes long. Exhale, step your foot outside of your right hand, coming into a lizard pose of your choice. So maybe you drop the knee down and stay here. Maybe you keep the knee lifted and play around with maybe dropping your arms. Good, maybe finding some solitude here in this pose, just for a few breaths. Good, next inhale, you're gonna send those right toes back long. Exhale, bring your foot between your hands, keeping that back knee lifted. Inhale, arms come overhead into your crescent lunge. Good, so sink your hips low in this pose. Pull your hips back, so posterior tilt to the pelvis. Hands overhead. Good, take an inhale here. Exhale, brings your hands behind you for your airplane pose. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, airplane pose. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, airplane pose. Chest comes forward. Plant your hands and step your left toes forward. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, circling the arms overhead. Hands through to heart center. Good, hands can come down to your sides for your mounted pose. All right, we'll take dancers on the other side. So start to place all that weight into your left foot. Really find your foundation first. Finding your foundation builds a really strong balancing posture. Good, bring your right knee up when you're ready. And then your hands can come to your hips. Right heel comes back behind you. And then reach for that right ankle with your right hand. Good, so you're opening up the right shoulder in the front. Good. Inhale, left fingertips come high. And then kick into that hand. Good, starting to maybe hinge forward, but really staying lifted in this pose. So you can notice how my chest is still pretty lifted, but I'm kicking into my back hand. Good, slowly come out of that. Good, inhale, reach up long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, and then start to sit your hips down to the mat. Good, when you get here, we're gonna take some windshield wiper hip openers. So your knees can stay bent up towards the ceiling. Your hands are coming back behind you to support yourself. And then slowly just start to let one knee fall in and then the other. And then moving over to the other side. So just finding some rotation of the hip here. Good. When you're ready, slowly coming down onto your back. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze, a little hug here. Maybe you rock from side to side. We'll start to slow it down here just a little bit. Good. Keep hold of your right knee. Send your left toes long out in front of you. Good. Once you get there, we're going to take a supine spinal twist. Your right knee comes over to the left side. Right fingertips reach long. Good. Come back to center. Switch out the legs, keeping the left knee in. Then guide that left knee over to the right. Good. Come back to center here. Send both of your legs long up towards the ceiling. If you want to find a wall nearby you and place your feet up against the wall, that's an option as well. Otherwise, you can find some ankle circles. Maybe you want to bring your hips up over your head for a shoulder stand here. Bringing your hands to your pelvis. Good, and then maybe dropping your toes back behind you for a plow pose. Good, we'll come back onto our back. And then send your legs long. Sorry, I'm kind of working with some small space. Send your legs long out in front of you. Good, we're gonna take some time here to do some breath work. So you can bring one hand to your low belly and one to your upper chest. Your eyes can come to close here. And I invite you to just take a few natural, authentic breaths. As you do this, notice which hand is moving more than the other. Good, maybe your lower hand is moving, rising and falling to the beat of your breath. Maybe your upper hand is moving a little more. This is totally fine. You guys are using different muscles to aid your inspiration. As you draw air in, see if you can take a deeper breath than the one before. Then hold it at the top. And then slowly let the exhale out. Good, take another inhale here. And exhale. Take a few more breaths just like this, where you're holding that inhalation at the very top, maybe for a couple of seconds. Doing this deep breathing really calms the nervous system down. So we're getting our body ready to find our resting posture, relaxing ourselves into the mat. Good. Whenever you've had enough of the breath work, you can bring your hands to your sides and find your final resting posture. Take some time to really get into this pose. I think a lot of times we kind of just fall into it. See if you can really like jiggle out all of the tension, letting your toes splay out to the side, letting go of any tightness in the shoulders or in the chest. But let your eyes close here. But these last few moments of class here are going to be yours to cherish for however long you would like. I invite you to see if you can really give your mind and body the rest that it deserves. Staying here for maybe a few minutes. I'm going to quietly exit out of the Zoom, but I invite you to stay here in this moment and enjoy some time with yourself.